My name is Charlie Bacher. I'm the principal at the school here, and what we're going to be doing in the next few minutes is just taking you on a virtual tour so you can see our school and kind of know what to expect the first day that you come. Over the course of this time together, we're going to have some time physically touring the building. We're going to also have a little bit of time where Ms. Frank and I are going to take you through some information about the school so that you'll have a better feel for that. And then once we're done, we're going to have a Google form for you where you can go in and fill out the Google form, which will give us an idea of what your needs are. If you want to have an in-person tour, if you want to have someone reach out to you, if you're good and you're fine at this point, wherever you feel like your needs are, we want to make sure we're accommodating those. We're also trying to limit the number of people in the building just for various procedures, just because it is important from a safety angle to make sure that we're keeping numbers of people in the building at one time down. So with that, we want to make sure that we're meeting all the safety needs, but we're also meeting your learning needs, which is going to be a big part of this year. As you see, we're going to have really a big rollout on all the things that we believe are important to maintain a culture of safety here, so that you feel like everything that we do here is for the well-being of students, but that we are taking no backseat in our learning, that we're doing everything we can to make sure that you're having the top-rate education that we know you deserve, and that this is a place where all students and all families feel welcome and feel excited about the year. We're so excited to get to know all of you, and we're so excited to see all of you, and really look forward to our time together. All right, for your first experience, if you are a family that will be transporting your child here and dropping them off each day, what we want to point out, this will be the part where you will enter the parking lot and you will drop your son or daughter off in this zone right in here. And we ask that you pull all the way up so that we can have as many people dropping off kids as possible at this time. And what we ask is that you then follow this direction here as you exit the parking lot. This area here you can see is for our buses only. So we want to make sure that we're getting a nice drop off right in front here, a nice clean exit for you so that you can get on with your day. And then our students will then head down where they will enter into the cafeteria area, and students will show you where your entrance is in just a moment. Okay, students, once you're dropped off, we're right here. We just walk a little ways down and we're going to be entering the cafeteria area. So that'll be an area where you can head in. If you prefer to eat breakfast at school, you can buy a breakfast at that time. And so we're going to walk this way and head into where you'll be entering once your family drops you off in the morning. Go ahead and head right this way. We have some friendly faces helping us out today, of course. All right, once you arrive at the door, this will be a little different than some of your friends who are riding the bus. The students on the bus will have their masks on already. You probably will not right away when you get out. So before we enter the building, we're going to put our masks on, which will be a requirement as we enter the building. So during this time, when we head in, you'll see the cafeteria here, and we'll talk about where to go once you're into the cafeteria. All right, come with me. All right, so here we are right inside the doorways, and inside the doorways here, now that we're inside, you notice I have my mask on. For the sake of the tour, I am going to help things so that I can be heard a little bit better. But what we're going to show you is a couple of different routes that you can take once you're in the building. The first thing, we'll be entering the building right as the first bus comes, around 8:45 to 8:50 will be when the building becomes available, and this area becomes really an area where students will be entering and heading to class. The first option, as I mentioned, heading to class, we'll be heading right through this direction, as you can see, and down this hallway, and we'll take a right turn here if we're going to class. Now, some of you may want to do a different option. You may want to purchase a breakfast. Okay, so I'm going to show you where you can go to purchase a breakfast so that you'll know what to do before you go to class if that's what you choose to do. So if you want to follow me this way, we have the Tiger Pride Cafe over here, and this is where students actually exit. So if you want to walk with me, I'll go take you to where the entrance is, and you can see where breakfast is served and where lunches will be served also. You can see our custodians have been doing a great job of cleaning and getting things set up. And as we round this corner, entrance of the Tiger Pride Cafe is right here, and we will be setting it up so that students will enter one at a time, socially distanced, so that we have a safe amount of people in and that we're not getting too crowded. So you'll see some directions on that, and we'll make sure that we help you with that. Okay, so we're outside again, so I suppose that seems like a lack of progress, but we want to take a minute here to catch our bus friends up because they're going to be really important to us too. So when you arrive and when you take the bus, you're going to see the difference between what your morning start will look like versus what your friends who are being dropped off have done. Where they have dropped off over here, we are now on the side of the school. And so we'll be entering right over here through these doors. And as we head over to these doors and head in, I'll take you to the same spot where breakfast is served, so you can have the same kind of meeting point, and then we'll continue our tour from there. All right, so here we are inside the entrance. Once again, I'm going to make it easier for you to hear me. And we are going to enter the building. And in this spot, you'll see that we're actually very, very close to where our other friends arrive, which is where breakfast is served. So as we continue our tour, we're going to go right from this spot to the next destination, which will be toward where you'll have class. When you come in the building in the morning and get breakfast, the next goal will be to head right to your class area. And we are going to have that different this year. Instead of hanging out in the cafeteria area, we're going to have you head right to your teacher advisory class so that you can get ready for your day. All right, now we're kind of at that place where some of you have come in from this direction, some of you have come in from this direction, and from this point, we'll continue where to go next. For most of you watching this, you are sixth graders. So we will take you first to the sixth grade section, but we're also going to be really wanting to make sure that all of us who are new to the building, whether we're a sixth grader, seventh grader, or eighth grader, have a good idea of where to go once you're in the building. So the first place we're going to go to actually is the compass. The compass is actually a directional picture of a compass that we have that's going to point you in the right direction for a number of different places. So we're going to head straight down the hall, and a couple columns in, you're going to see the compass, and we'll start the rest of our tour from there. So right here is a very important landmark in our building. It's the picture of the compass that I mentioned earlier. The nice thing about the compass is if you're a little worried about where you are, and it's easy to get turned around in our building. There's a few different wings, and I'm new to this building, so I even get lost a little bit myself. So I may be asking you for directions, and maybe you can help me. Hopefully it doesn't get that way, but I think it's going to be really important for us to kind of know where to go from here. So when we come in, we've come from this direction where the buses were and where the drop-off was. Now that we've arrived here at the compass, sixth grade, you are going to head this direction. And if it helps you to think in terms of color coding, the maroon area is your direction, sixth graders. And seventh graders, you are blue. Eighth graders, you're green. And you'll see each of those. Now, if you have trouble remembering, like I do sometimes, at the end of this spot, or as you enter each wing, there is an 8, a 7, and a 6 at the beginning of each pod that as you get closer, you can look to, and it can help you to remember. So you may not be able to see it from here, but that'll also be at the beginning of each pod so that you can see where we're going. So sixth graders, we'll start with you since the majority of our new students will be sixth graders, but we're also going to help our seventh and eighth grade friends out here as well. So if you want to follow me toward the sixth grade pod, we'll walk a little bit of this hallway. This direction also has a number of our other classrooms where we have, in some cases, computer labs, we have technology areas and labs, we have an art room, and our office are all in this hallway right as you've turned to go to the sixth grade hall. And here we also have a few landmarks here too, where we have just some awnings here. And the most important awning for you to remember is this green one, quite a ways up, that we'll kind of walk toward. And that green one is our office. So if you're ever lost or you need help, you can head toward the green awning in this hallway to get help with finding where you're at or getting questions addressed. All right, so we've made it down the hallway. We're at the beginning here, or the entrance of the sixth grade pod, and you can see the 6 at the top there, which tells you you've come to the right place. So sixth graders, when you've come in, and we're again following the very beginning of your day, the first place you go is you're going to head here, and on the first day you're going to see a lot of friendly faces. You're going to see your teachers out in the hallways, waving you in, helping you to find different places so that you'll know where to go. So when you have your schedule and you see who your teacher is first, you'll come in and look for them, and they will help you find your spot. So we're going to enter the 6th grade pod here and just show you a few spots. These wrap around. So the first, if you head to your right, you'll see a number of classrooms here. And here we have our science room, and we have social studies. Okay. For the first part of the year, we won't worry about lockers. We're actually going to have you take your stuff right to the classroom so that you can have your bag with you. As we get into colder weather, we'll look at assigning lockers at that time. But 6th grade, it's a really scary thing right away to have to figure out combinations. The first few days, we aren't even going to have to worry about it. We're going to get you to a point where you get to your classes and we work on this, we practice this together a little ways down the line. So don't worry about your lockers right now, because we've got you. We're going to have you coming into the room, and we're going to have to take care of you in those rooms. So your teacher, whichever teacher you have, will wave you into their classroom. They'll be available so that you can ask where your teacher's classes are, and there will be helpful people here to direct you and where to go. The pod itself wraps around, so you can see we've got our teachers, so you'll be able to see their faces here. And we can actually go around a circle here to the other side of the 6th grade pod. We have a nice large area in here, and sometimes teachers use this area to instruct. Sometimes teachers might take you outside or down to the river or places that we can enjoy our outdoor classroom space. And so you've got a really nice setup in here, and we're really excited to see kids in the building because as you can see, it's a little empty and a little alone right now. So come on this way. We have now circled around the pod, and each of our 3 pods look like this. They have the same configuration, and so we can actually head around the corner and exit this pod, and we can meet up and show some of our other friends in 7th and 8th grade. All right, 7th graders, we're back right where we were. And again, we came from the direction, and we're heading this way. So 7th grade, you have an easier memory. You can come in the building, and you can just head straight. And as we head there, you'll see where our 7 East and 7 West teachers are. Here we are in the 7th grade pod. We're not going to spend as much time here because it's the exact same setup as the 6th grade pod. We have our 7 West to your right, 7 East to our left. The difference here is we're going to show you what a classroom looks like. And the classroom, especially what it looks like now that we have 6 feet of spacing between each desk. So you'll have an idea of what to expect when you head into a classroom. So go ahead and follow me. So we have 7 East here. We're going to actually visit Mr. Lestrud's room. Which is just around the corner. Good. This is the view looking into a typical classroom, and from the doorway, and as you come in, you can see there is quite a bit of space between each of our desks. So this gives you a lot of space, area to set your bag down, your coat down under your chair so that we're safe and not tripping over each other, but that we're also having a lot of room for that social distancing piece that is very important. One of our focuses, our staff has worked very hard to keep this building open as much as possible, and one of the things that we think is going to be really important is that we're honoring a lot of those guidelines so that we keep the building safe and that we can keep it open, which is something that we're really excited about. We want you here. All right, 8th graders, we're heading this way. So when you come in, you will take a left.